forgot how to work my camera a little bit. The fuck's up? I'm just playing. Yo, hold on. This is not giving. No, roll the crap. Roll the title. Roll the title. Hold on.
Chris! What?
I want to apologize for the last video that I was talking a lot, but it was just to update, you know, where I've been, and I also do want to touch in this video what I said last video that what did I say? I said something about like how I was trying to stay with people and stuff like that, or something like that. So long story short, I stayed with my best friend, quote unquote quotations, my ex-best friend people, because they was like, oh yeah, you're invited, you can come stay with us, you know, it doesn't matter, because they, for one, they stay closer to my job, so I wanted to do that. And then at the time I didn't have a car, so like I was Ubering back and forth, so Ubering from their crib to you know, to my job, that was like, you know, that was really cheap, you know. Instead of paying $30 to $40, I was paying like damn near 15 to 20, so that was fine. But anyway, when I first got there, I had set everybody down. I said, thank you for allowing me to stay here. You know, can you guys put me on game with the rent, with you know, with the financial stuff that needs to be paid for? And basically what they told me was that they didn't know how much the rent will be for the next month, because when they did move in, they had just moved in like into their place, maybe like I want to say a month before. And so instead of them getting a prorated rent, they paid the rent like as if they were already staying there. So they got prorated for the month that I came, which is understandable. So on top of that, they was like, oh yeah, we don't know how much it'll be. So I asked, I was like, okay, so what does it say in the lease? Because you could kind of guess from there. And everybody kind of gave me the runaround. They was like, oh, you're gonna, they was like, I'd rather for you to go up to such and such, the person who handles the rent and stuff like that. But she couldn't even tell me how much it was too. So I was like, okay, cool. There was only one real person, well, two real people that was in my corner and told me the real, and that was my ex-best friend sister, little sister, not the big sister. She was like, Chris, that we don't know how much it will be, but granted, I want you to make sure that you have at least $300 to $400. Because that's how much we all paid last month or whatever the fuck. So anyway, I was like, okay, cool. And then there was other things that came up too, like Wi-Fi. What else? I bought my own toiletries. I always had my own toiletries, so I don't touch nobody else's. I have my own stuff. And I make my stay there. Like when I was staying there, I made myself very small, so you wouldn't know that I was there or not, and I like just go to work and come back in. But anyway, back to the story though. I was like, okay, cool, you know, $300 to $400. All right, cool. So I want to say, when around the time that the rent came up and stuff like that, I had asked again. Nobody still could tell me anything until like the last minute. So they was like, oh, it'll be like around 500, something like that. Granted, I was told to keep like 3 to 4, but I wanted to, since they told me like around 500, I was like, okay, how about this? When we are going to pay? Because the rent is late. I know from experience that the rent usually be late after the 4th, and so I had asked them when would they pay it or whatnot, and they were like, oh, we're gonna pay on the 5th or something like that. And I was like, okay, cool, I can do that. I was wondering, I wanted to let y'all know, because they told me last minute, I let them know, 'cause I had the 400, but I let them know, I was like, hey, can I, you know, pay, give y'all everything, you know, that Friday, because I think the 5th was Friday, or the 5th was, no, I'm so sorry. I forgot what day it was, I can't really be clear, but I know the 5th was a Friday, and I would have had everything. Yeah, I would have had everything that Friday. So I was like, okay, cool. And they was like, oh yeah, don't worry about it, such and such. He got to get his money off his card around the 4th or the 5th anyway, so you're fine. That's what I was told. And so I was like, okay, cool. So the week of the first that came, and I thought we had settled everything at that time, but no, the family kept coming to me on the 30th, or on the 30th, and asked, hey, how much you think you have that Friday, this, that, third, that. I said, I don't necessarily know, but I know I do have such and such everything for that Friday for sure. And I didn't necessarily tell them how much I would have because I didn't want nobody to be in my pocket. That's one thing. And so that was that. They came to me again on the 1st. They came to me again on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all the way up to the 5th. And what was this? And they was like, when they came to me on the 2nd again of that month, they was like, how much you? I was like, I thought we already discussed this. I thought we already discussed that I would have everything for you or whatever. I was just trying to know because everything is getting, I guess, out of order or something. Whatever the case that had happened. But granted, I should have had at least more up front, so that way I could have just gave it to them. So that way I could have just been clear. I'm not gonna sit here and act like, I was innocent or anything. I could have just gave them what I had at that moment and then let them know I'll give the rest that Friday. But in my head, I was thinking like, it's in the same week, so I will be fine this Friday. So anyway, Friday rolls around, and I had almost just enough because of Uber, and I had to give me some food and stuff like that. And so there was like, because of the fact that I had what I needed for my portion, but the fact that it went after the I guess again, I think it was late after the 4th or something like that, they had raised it up a little bit to like, instead of it just being $5.10, it went from $5.10 to like $5.60, $5.75 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But I was like, okay, fine. And they were a little upset with me, like I was the one that had kept them waiting, but that was not the case. They told me that such and such had to get money off his card around this day, and they still have it. So I didn't know that at the time. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go sacrifice my camera, the one that I'm recording on, my pride and joy, my moneymaker, the one that I do photography and videos on. I was like, you know what? I'll go put my camera, so that way I'll have what I need for them, and then I'll still have something that I need for me for the weekend because I'm off for the rest of that weekend. So I was like, okay, cool. So I went to go take care of that. I gave them that, and then I had an extra. I didn't know how much I was gonna get pawned or whatever, so I just was like, I'll take it. And then so I had a little bit of extra. So when I got back, I gave them my portion, what was asked, and then I was like, hey, I have extra, because I had asked them when were they gonna pay, or they're gonna pay today or not. They was like, oh no, we're gonna pay it on the 9th. I was like, what? Like, you made me wait, like you made me like pawn my camera when I could, because I had one more day of work. I could have gave it to you the next day, and y'all just kept harassing me about it. But I didn't say that. I was like, okay. I was like, well, I do have an extra 100 if y'all need it. Oh no, we don't need it. I said, okay. So I asked the other person who was supposedly had got his money off the card or something, or whatever had happened. I said, hey, I have extra. Do you need it? No, don't worry about it. I got it. I said, well, y'all told me. I was like, well, okay, because y'all said that we was gonna pay it on the 5th, but now it's the 9th. If you got it, okay, I gave you my portion. Okay, cool. So, lo and behold, after that weekend, I come in, after that weekend, it was like the next week, the family mother come into the room. It was like, Chris, do you think you have an extra 100? I said, an extra 100 for what? I was willing to, like, listen to her. I'm thinking you needed an extra 100 for like groceries or something like that. I was like, extra 100 for what? Oh, for the rent. I said, no, I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't, because I had asked y'all, and I even text the other person if they needed it. Nobody said nothing. So she got upset with me, and she was like, well, you said that you was gonna take care, she said you was gonna take care of the late fees or whatever. The thing is, I I wasn't late. The other person was late. Come to find out. So you wanted me to pay his portion too of the late fees. That's what I was not getting. I was not going for that. I don't, and I'm gonna tell you, this has been a month since I've been there. I don't, I don't complain about anything. If I was asked to do something, I do it. I just do it. But anyway, after that, we kind of got into like a debate. I was like, yeah, I was gonna take care of any of the late fees, which I did on my end. I didn't think I had to take care of late fees because of everybody else. And so I was like, so basically, if that's the case, I'm paying for a room as well. Because the thing is, my best friend, he didn't have a job at the time. So, and plus he was barely there. So I was in his room. But when he's there or whatever, I would have to get out. And well, whenever he had company over, I would have to get out, of course. But he was living scot free. He was living scot free. Nothing, like he didn't have a job. And while this was going on, I kind of like felt rubbed the wrong way because I felt like she was trying to use my responsibility against me. Like, yes, I said this, but I did take care of it. But now you're trying to make it seem like I didn't, or and plus they know where I worked as well. And so I feel like they tried to clock it there, like, oh, because bro make this much a week. I never told them how much, but they just guessed, or whatever, and think I had extra. Nope, I did not. I had enough to get to work for the next week and to do what I need to do to find me an apartment. So, anyway, so I guess after that kind of stirred up a lot of things all going forward during that whole month. And come to find out, I had found me an apartment, and come to find out that one of the house guests as well, I'm not gonna say house guest, but one of the people who was staying there, it was me, my best friend, his mom, his two sisters, one of his sisters' boyfriend, and the family friend, his ex. But I didn't mean to be shady, but his ex, but he's a family friend now, so it's like around 7 people that stay there, and only 4 people was paying rent. Me, the friend, the family friend, the 2 sisters. So that lets me know right there, like, it was a red flag. I kind of was walking into some BS. But anyway, not to mention that they already had their own little thing going on. That didn't bother me because it had nothing to do with me. So anyway, as I was saying, going forward during that whole month or whatever, I had found out that it was like some things said about me in the group chat. But first, my best friend, ex-best friend, big sister tried to make it seem like that the house friend had a problem with me staying there because I didn't pay when I had came. So the thing was, when I came, I had asked about everything. I even asked the owner, oh no, everything's taken care of for the month, you're fine. I was like, are you sure? This and that, third. They said nothing. So I had asked the person who take care of the electricity. I said, hey, I know I'm just getting here. Is there anything else? Oh, well, the electric bill's coming up and stuff like that. I mean, I already got it taken care of, but if you just want, So I was like, you know what, here you go. That's the type of person I am, and that's what I did. But yeah. So when I looked at the group chat, I read the group chat, and it rubbed me the wrong way. The big sister had said something about, oh, mama tired of him, and this and that third. I'm on your side, brother. We could kick him out and stuff like that. And I'm like, what have I done? I have not done anything but ordered my own food. Mind you, before that, I had paid hella money for crawfish. I had wanted seafood. And everybody else, oh, I want seafood. I was like, you know what? Let's make this a family affair. So I and his little sister went half on seafood. I paid majority of it. So we went, half and half on the seafood or whatever. And his extra friends who keep fucking dogging him and his family, I even bought them shit. Oof. Let me bring it back down. But anyway, I even bought them stuff, the food, some of the food or whatever. And I'm reading the group chat. I was like, mama tired of me. Like, you was gonna kick me out this and that. I'm like, what have I done? I haven't done anything. I don't say nothing to nobody except for when I walk in. I say, hey, how is Bradley doing? How y'all doing? Cool, cool, cool. I'm finna go to sleep because I gotta go to work tonight. I don't make a mess. Everything is like, none of my stuff was everywhere. So I'm trying to figure out like what's going on. So once I see what she had said, and then the family friend was like, cause I'm gonna kick him out and this and that third. Mom already gave me permission. So I was like, okay. So when the sister, she tried to make it seem like that he said something, but no, she initiated it. She was like, oh, I was just trying to see what he said. No, I said, why would you say that? She's like, I was just trying to see what he said. I was like, but why would you say anything like that to begin with? I thought me and you had an agreement about what was happening, and then I communicated with you about the rent and this and that third. But nevertheless, I was like, okay, cool. So I waited until he got home, and I was at the door. I was like, so what's this about that you about to kick me out? He was like, hold on. So he went upstairs, came back downstairs. He was like, well, the family felt like that you didn't want to pay the rent this month and stuff like that. I was like, why? I was like, why do they feel like that I didn't want to pay the rent? Is it because I kept asking questions about how much it was and how much my portion was? And I feel like the only reason why they said that was because I had asked the big sister, because she take care of the rent. I said, how much is it split between 4 people? Exactly. And so she gave me the number, and I did the math myself. She tried to come up with extra stuff. She tried to get extra money out of me. She says, oh, I'm not about to pay all these fees by myself. And hold on, actually, I think I still got the messages. Hold on, receipts. Yeah, I don't have the messages. I actually deleted everything. So from what I can remember, she was like, oh, I'm not about to pay all these fees by myself. And I was like, and I had asked everybody, I was like, what all fees is she talking about? All you have to do is just pay one thing. But come to find out, they had to get money off their card, off of this card, this and that third. I was so confused. I was out because the way I was raised and the way my family do it, if we're about to pay rent, everybody like just send the money digitally. But I guess everybody didn't have that option at this. I don't know. I was just so confused, and I was like, fees for what? But I guess I don't know. I guess. So anyway, after that, what happened? So that's what he was telling me about, like the family felt like I didn't want to pay the rent, which was stupid. And so I was like, okay, so why didn't you come and talk to me? Because we had our own conversation, and I'll let you know if anything was going on as well. It's only been like, what, a month and a half. And I ain't gonna lie, me and CJ woke up, I mean, it was like, cause I just had a flashback of those messages, cause I was like, bro, y'all just talking mad crap about me for no reason, unwarranted. So what I did was, I got in his personal space and I was like, so put me out. And it went straight to double hockey sticks. So it went straight to hell. And afterwards or whatever the case may be, we had to sit down, we talked, and he told me what was actually happening, that this is what the family said, this, that, third, And so the mama, she was like, you know what, Chris, I did say that I was gonna put you out because if you couldn't come up with the rent. I was like, but I told her, I was like, that's crazy because you're acting like I have not spoken to each and every one of you about this. And then y'all came to me day after day after day after I told y'all what it was. So I'm confused. So that's what that was that. So I stayed there. It was very uncomfortable, as it should be when you're staying with other people. What else? It's just very much pettiness happening towards me for no reason. I paid who I need to pay for the things I needed to pay for, which was the rent and the light bill. So after I paid that, I let everybody know what I paid and stuff like this and that, So, as I'm like, making my leave, it was within that weekend, because I already paid for my apartment, and so I just needed to move in like on the 15th. So, as I was making my leave, the big sister texted me stating that I didn't give her money for the Wi-Fi bill, and I told her that I said first, I said, how much is the Wi-Fi bill? And then she came up with a crazy number that it wasn't the last month. So I still have the receipts of when I paid her from the month previously. I was like, that's not how much it is. It was this much last month. Oh, I know. This and that. So I was like, so she screenshotted me, and then I did the math. I was like, it's still the same. Why do you need this much amount of money from us to, just to pay for this when that's like $60 extra that you're gonna have in your pocket for what? When I could be using that for my stuff, for my apartment. So to confirm, I had asked the other person, I was like, hey, how much was the Wi-Fi? Oh, the Wi-Fi is around this much and it's due on the 18th. She texted me because she knew I was leaving. She texted me on the 12th. And it's like, oh, the Wi-Fi due today. I said, okay. I said, and that's when I asked how much it was. She came up with a crazy number, and the Wi-Fi was not due that day. So I let her know. I was like, hey, I already paid the rent and I paid the light bill as well. I made a list of what I needed to pay for before I leave, and I'm gonna leave anyway before the next Wi-Fi due date is here. And plus, I already paid for the month that I'm using. We're currently still in the month that I paid for the Wi-Fi. So she didn't say nothing. And come to find out, I already knew this was gonna happen. She took my stuff off the Wi-Fi. Oh, that was petty. Yay. So I was like, okay, cool. And so when I got there, I had, at the time, I was going through it, y'all. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a car. I had a phone, but my phone wasn't on, so I used Wi-Fi. She knew that. So anyway, the mama, she asked me what I was doing when I got there, because I was using her grandson's phone to buy the Xfinity thing off my phone, because he was giving me a hotspot or whatever. And I was like, oh, your daughter took me off the Wi-Fi. And so she was like, oh, because she feels like that since everybody here and y'all doing this and that the third, she feels like she don't need to pay the Wi-Fi bill. I said that's crazy. And I was like, what do you mean that we here that we're doing this and that the third? You acting like I cost y'all money. That's not what's going on here. And she was like, well, it just seemed like that you didn't want to pay and you can't keep doing it. I said, I can't keep doing what? I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, you can't keep not wanting to pay. I said, not wanting to pay what? I said, no. Your daughter got it so wrong that it's crazy. Like, your daughter is slow. Like, what you mean I can't keep wanting to pay? The thing is, she tried to get more money out of me, and then once I correct her and once I do the correct calculations, and that's how much I send. That's me not wanting to pay, or that's me wanting to be fair. She's like, I don't want to have this conversation no more because it's over. Like, it just don't need to be a conversation. I was like, bro, like, you're making excuses for your daughter for what? Like, and you don't even have a job yourself. So if you spending your money on something, wouldn't you want to be fair? Oh, all right. But I was happy to leave. And again, like, my best friend, he wasn't necessarily there all the time. So when there was things happening, I told him, and I wanted, to let him know what was happening. He will always brush me off. He'll always side with his family. And the funny thing about that is, like, if it was my family, I would have checked them, like, bro, like, why is y'all, like, trying to hound this man for extra money? What are y'all doing? Or, like, even then, like, my family, they're not like that. They would have probably let bro stay for free. But that's not what I was asking, because you cannot stay nowhere in this world for free. And that's so super understandable. So anyway, after I left, I got into my apartment. My brother actually helped me bring my stuff to my apartment, and we went from there. And I called my ex-best friend and I let him know. And so when I called him and I was letting him know about everything and stuff like that, he was like, oh, Chris, you're wrong. Well, everybody's wrong in a situation. I said, where was I wrong at? And I'm gonna always take accountability for what I do, but in this situation, the whole situation, staying with them, the only time that I'm taking accountability is for when I got into that dude's face about putting me out, and that's about it. Because anything else, like, I'm literally going to work, I speak, I will pitch in. And also, I forgot to tell y'all too, So the mama, she will always tell me, hey, if you touch anything in the refrigerator, you will have to match us. I said, okay, cool. So I bought my own stuff, and one day I come from work, the stuff that I bought is gone. I was so pissed, and I had told my friend, I was like, bro, like, what pissed me off is the fact that when y'all say that, hold on, my man, I got like, it kind of riled me up a little bit. But basically, what I'm trying to say is when your mama come and when your people come and tell me that if I touch anything down here that I have to match, that's crazy that I don't get the same respect. Don't nobody match with my stuff. Your mama asked me for my $13 bag of shrimp. She asked for the whole thing, and I was like, you know what, you can have it. That's just the type of person I am. And like, mind y'all, I took a break from these people for 2 years, and it's so crazy that God, like, I did not listen to God that time, well, earlier this year, and I stayed with him. Hilarious. But anyway, so I was like, so who had ate my stuff? And come to find out, it was his big sister's son's friend, his nephew friend, or whatever. I was like, bro, the mama, and I let the mama know. I was like, that's crazy. Like, if I touch your stuff, you want me to match. But she was like, oh, yeah, I understand. But yet nothing was done for it. So that was another thing. So anyway, with that being said, as I left, I let him know about stuff like that too. And he's one of those people where he's scared of confrontation. He's scared of having a hard conversation. So he sides with his family over my things. But okay. So anyway, I made it to my apartment. I let him know, it's like, hey, and then I started having a conversation with him to let him know everything that was going on and how I felt. He's like, well, everything, Chris, everybody is wrong in the situation, and you was wrong and this and third. I said, where was I wrong at? Well, Chris, you should have paid the Wi-Fi. I said, I shouldn't have paid nothing. And I contacted my people and let them know what was happening. Because they're usually like people that's like very stern about payment and stuff like that. And I let them know everything. It's like, no, you're not wrong for not paying the Wi-Fi bill, because you already paid what you needed to pay, and then they tried to get more out of you. And then my sister was like, honestly, you should have came back home. But I didn't want to do that. I felt like I needed this to, use as a stepping stone. But at the same time, anyway, so I had to text him. I was like, all right. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I cried after our conversation. He said I was wrong. And I still have the message. It was a long message. And I was like, yo, what's up? I've been holding this in for a long time. And I need to say this now. Our friendship has reached its end. It's not out of hate. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but basically, I was letting him know, like, bro, our friendship reached its end, and it's crazy that I was trying to tell you everything, and then like you brushed me off, and then you side with your family, and then I tried to figure out why you are the way you are, and I understand now, because I get that something may have happened for you to not get a job, but you can still be looking for a job and stuff like that. Like, I'm not cracking on anybody that don't have a job, but the thing is, when I was there, I was trying to help him get a job and stuff like that. And his mom was making excuses. Oh, he can't do this because of this and that third. He can't do this because of this, that third. Then he can't do this because of his mom, which may be all the truth. I have a brother who has weak bones, and he still got a job. Like, like, this dude is 27, 28 years old, and you're making excuses for him. This is a grown ass baby. And I told him, I said, bro, I see why you are the way you are. You don't like confrontation, because you get coddled. Your mama, she protects all of that for you. But all in all, I wanted to say about another reason. That was just a part of the whole series of me moving anyway. But yeah, that's the end of that. I didn't want to get back into it because it's like a lot. And I already used up too much of your time. But we're going to get in today. We're going to get today started. And yeah, get into some more energy, because this was like very negative. But like I said, today we just have the Christmas party to go to, and my announcement that we're gonna make to my family that I'm moving to ATL. And again, I'm super excited, super happy, but right now I need to wash my face, and that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.